Hi guys.
guys. Hi.
Hi guys. Welcome to Legally. What's wrong with you? What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Welcome to Legally Speaking, the show that alleviates your legal anxiety and demystifies the law. Once again, my name is Musa Matala. I am not alone. I'm with my colleague.
Yeah. Nkwana is the name in which I go by
Yeah.
normally. But yeah, otherwise they would call me Krog.
Yes, otherwise we call him Croc.
Yeah.
We're in a very good mood today, guys, because here's the thing, right? So today's episode is like wild because
It is.
there's a debate that we've been having off camera and we've decided to bring it onto
Yeah.
the camera. But
And in essence, this is the kind of energy in which established this podcast.
exactly,
This
you
kind
know,
of,
where
content, because we disagree on a lot of things, you know.
we disagree on everything. Everything. We disagree
on a lot of
on
things,
everything.
Yeah, so this is one of the things that which we thought would be just to put forth to you guys.
100%. And it's actually something that is worthwhile to actually hear about because we do not believe that our courts have settled this
I still
matter.
disagree, yeah.
But before we get there, guys, so today we're talking about the duty to support, duty to maintain that spouses have towards their spouses, that life partners have towards their life partners, or deceased life partners' estates have towards the surviving
Parents
life
towards
partners.
children.
So I think from here, and also yes,
Parents towards the children,
the
yeah.
duty of support that parents have to their children, and if the parents can't support, who does it fall to?
Yeah.
You know, conversations like that, and whether the children must also support the parents. So without taking any more time, because I believe that the discussion we're going to have later might just take a bit of time, so
Perhaps.
I'm going to hand it over to my learned colleague over here.
Yeah, so maintenance, to not go too deep as to the different legislative definitions. In essence, it is the duty of one to financially support another person's living expenses. So that's in essence, like in all honesty, I could not find a better way to put it regarding the different types of maintenance that they are. But in essence, it is the duty for one to support another's living expenses.
Yeah.
So I will start off by talking about life partners. There've been a lot of controversy regarding the whole life partner spouse label, you know, within relationships. So there was a Banya case and a Robinson case, right? The facts of which are this: the Banya case was a situation whereby two people were living together and had an intention to marry, right? But then in that engagement,
the gent passed away, right?
Yeah, and then he passed away in 2016, and then unfortunately they did not get the opportunity to actually get married and have that matrimony finalized.
Yeah.
With the Robinson case, they were two people that were living together but did not have an intention to marry.
Are these the ones that lived for like 15 years?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah. Living together, but we didn't have the
Intention to marry, yeah.
So both these situations got to the Constitutional Court, whereby they had to deliberate on what the definition of a spouse is, because it is very discriminatory for one to be living like a spouse but not be labeled or treated as such according to law.
Particularly if so, and this is part of the controversy, I believe, that especially for a woman, because women are not traditionally the ones who ask for hands in marriage.
True. Very true. And that's one thing that the Constitutional Court came to realize, is that there are a lot of women out there that live in that kind of predicament. They live together with a man, but because a man is one that proposes, they propose, and then after that you basically have no power to put the matter in your own hands and basically label the whole living situation.
Turn it into like
as a marriage.
Yeah.
You know?
So I feel like that's also discrimination in itself, because why don't women? Why are men expected? Look, I'm just throwing out. Like, you know, why are men expected to, you know? But anyway,
look,
sorry,
I said the same thing,
Yes.
and I felt the same way in a sense. Essentially, what Mutsu is saying is that women should propose.
No, you guys must propose. You can't propose,
women must propose. So that is the reason why the lady in the Robinson case was not labeled as a spouse, because there was no intention.
There was no intention. So
so with the Bawanya case, Bawanya case.
I've never known how to pronounce that word.
The Bawanya
case.
There was an intention in the case, in the sense that
they were engaged.
The man proposed, and they intended to marry. So essentially, the Constitutional Court found that if there is an intention to marry, then that's when the term spouse can be extended to the surviving partner. But they gave the legislature
18 months to remedy the Interstate Succession Act.
Interstate Succession Act,
So the surviving, but anyway,
So the definition regarding the surviving spouse or spouse was found to be discriminatory towards a person that has been in a situation whereby they intended to marry, and a fiance, and otherwise that was the discrepancy between the two. The intention to marry is extended. The term spouse is going to give an opportunity to be extended, and whilst the other is not.
Is not, yeah.
So on the other hand, we will talk about the children's maintenance.
Yeah, so
which my learned colleague here will
children and parents.
Children and parents.
Parents and children.
So he will give us insight onto that.
So ordinarily, guys, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my liege. My liege. So guys, essentially this is how it works. So parents have a duty to support the kids. And of course, I mean, the duty to support has been explained by my learned colleague over here. And then, so what happens if the parents cannot support? So in law, the law is actually very vulgar. They say, what happens if the parents are indigent? That is...
But that's the truth.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a vulgar word. Like, it's kind of vulgar.
To be honest with you, these are predicaments that we're living in South Africa.
It's just like how they used to call children born out of wedlock illegitimate children. Oh my God, it started with bastards and then illegitimate children. Now it's children born out of wedlock. Sorry guys, sorry. So what happens when the parents are indigent, meaning that what happens if they are incapable of supporting their offspring? What then happens under those circumstances is that the grandparents, the duty to support falls on the grandparents. Yes. I see you nodding. I see you about to pick up the call to call Nkono, your child's Nkono, and be like, yo, apparently since your son can't support, the duty falls on you. But legally it really does. And then so until how long must the child be supported? So ordinarily it's until they reach an age of majority, which is 18 in South Africa. But then many would ask and say, okay, so what happens after that? What happens after that is that there's an inquiry that's made, is that can the child support themselves? Are they supporting themselves? And if they cannot, then the duty of support does not end. So the parents are still obligated to support the child. And it will flow to the grandparents if the parents are not able to. Again, that's just the way it rolls. That's just the way it rolls. And then there's also an interesting question, which is what happens if the child, well, the major child gets married? Is there still a duty to support this child by the parents and the grandparents? So ordinarily, the duty to support a spouse falls on the other spouse, like my colleague said. But then, should it so happen that the one spouse is not capable of fully supporting the spouse, then the child, the definition of child and the duty to support a child, it's still extended in that the parents of
The child,
the spouse child, the child's spouse, the child's spouse, or the child who's a spouse,
the child will
still
support the parents.
They know, like, the parents still have to support the child who is actually a spouse to another.
So it doesn't matter if I'm married. It doesn't matter if I have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
you know,
your parents.
So
as long as you can't support yourself,
I can
your
have
parents
recourse.
must support you. Yeah, but then, exactly.
I guess
But
it makes sense.
it it does.
I mean,
because
why would you bring a descendant into
nobody
this
asked to
world?
be
Yeah,
here.
no, true.
We didn't ask to be here.
Let's just be honest,
We didn't
guys.
ask to be here.
That's just the genuine truth, and that's what's fair. I feel like that's
fair, you know what I mean?
That is fair.
And then, but then there's also, look, if somebody, and this is where the unfairness is, let's say you are Croc and I decide that, you know what, we're just gonna chill with our law degrees, with our brains, with our everything, we're just gonna chill and be bums all day. Does this mean that our parents still have a duty to support us? No. No,
It doesn't mean that at
It
all.
doesn't mean that. So
It's actually about the child.
yes, when the child can support themselves but then opts not to support themselves, then the court will rule that no, there's no duty to support this particular child. And then the duty to support parents, after parents are not able to support themselves, it's reciprocal. So it means that the child now has the duty to support their parents. And obviously, should you need any more information on this, guys, the email at the end of the episode
we'll give you guys a platform.
yes, I think there's something else you wanted to raise.
Well, I also just want to say something. It also goes to the loss of support. You know, when you do RF claims,
Yes.
and there's a loss of support claim from parents that has lost a child, and that child was the sole provider of the household. There is a lot of controversy.
There's controversy.
There's a lot of controversy.
There is
because
controversy.
It raises the question: are the parents not
Capable to support themselves,
because
yeah.
they're majors and
Yeah.
have capabilities to find employment? But that's another chat.
It becomes a question of merits. What are the merits of the case? What are the merits of the case?
That's a different chat. But nonetheless, with regards to spousal maintenance, look, they are underneath 7.2, Section 7.2 of the Divorce Act. Let's be honest, no one is entitled to spousal maintenance. That's a doctrine. The doctrine is that no one is entitled to spousal maintenance. But if you make an application to court for said maintenance, because it says circumstances differ. So there could be a situation whereby one is a housewife and married to a person that has a 9 to 5, vice versa. A man is a husband wife. Is it as a wife's husband? What's husband? What is it? I don't even recognize it.
House husband. No,
House
keep
husband.
quiet. Before you go any further, keep quiet.
Nonetheless, I don't recognize those people, but nonetheless, that is what they do. So there's that, and then Oksala, there is a duty to support if you make an application to court. So you go to court, and make an application. Normally, when you go through divorce proceedings with children, when you go through divorce, it's a Rule 43. And the Rule 43 basically gives the children some sort of recourse to have the maintenance during the duration of the divorce. All right. And with regards to spousal, so with regard to the Rule 43 is for children primarily, but with the divorce in essence, there can be spousal maintenance. And the spousal maintenance, one of the things that the court has to consider are things like the duration of the divorce or the duration of the marriage, the age of the spouses, the capability or capacity to earn, the foreseeability to grow in terms of earning capacity,
Yeah.
living expenses, all that. So those are some of the considerations in which are looked at with regard to what should be considered in the
as far as
spectrum of the spousal
maintenance.
But the doctrine is that it's no one is entitled
Nobody's
to it.
entitled to
No
it,
one is entitled
per
to
se,
it.
yeah.
But if you make an application to court, you'll get it. And those men in which Musa was laughing about.
Husband wives, according to my little colleague, husband wives.
Hey, what's that?
But this is then again, this is a petty man, guys. You know, this is a petty man. You know, who sees things a certain way, and does you gotta respect the way he sees things.
But there was something in which you wanted to.
So here's the
that
thing,
that's
right?
Controversial.
So
and you know what, guys, listen to us out. We're gonna. This I don't know.
banging this out.
They're gonna be too. As I said, we don't agree. I don't agree with him. He doesn't agree with me. But here's what the situation is.
So here's the question, right? So, in terms of South African law, right? We're going back to child maintenance. In terms of South African law, the doctrine is, this is trite law, guys. The doctrine is, the interests of the child are paramount. In terms of South African law. So, when you weigh interests, the interests of the child are paramount. So, I asked my learned colleague here, I asked him, so what happens in a situation whereas a man and a woman are together? And then what happens is that the woman has a baby, has a child, and then attributes paternity falsely to the partner, saying that this child is theirs, and then that child is not theirs. But then,
Without that man's knowledge.
yeah, the gentleman supports the child. 5 years, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Without his knowledge.
But, yes, and then he finds out that this child is not his, right? That's the child.
Yes.
And then what happens then? Does he still have the duty to support, or doesn't he? Remember, in terms of South African law, the interests of the child are paramount.
Look, let's be honest, ne? I'll put it in layman's terms. Musa is talking about handsball.
Yeah. Basically.
The handsball, and he's basically saying that the duty to support one our handsball is still there to the child. And I'm saying to him, that duty cannot exist because said false parent is not the biological father or the biological parent. It's actually has to be father. The biological father of the child. So you were supporting this child underneath this false
pretense.
This false premise that this child is yours.
Yeah.
I mean, that is where the intention was.
But then
you intended to support.
But then if we're going to talk about,
you intended to support a child which you thought was yours. Right?
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about intention and talking about the best interest of the child.
Yeah.
So
if you're gonna talk about biological, why are step parents have a duty to support their step kids?
But that's because they get married. There's marriage involved.
But then you must remember,
that's step parent.
So what if you married? What if this is your wife? This woman is your wife. The woman authorizing handsball is your wife. That's your wife. The woman authorizing handsball is your wife.
Let me tell you
as well.
Here's the thing. I think we're talking about the fact that you did not know.
You didn't know.
You can't label yourself as a step parent. You are under the false premise.
You're effectively a step.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's a false premise.
Okay.
It's a false premise. It's
All
a
right.
false premise. At the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
You are not the biological father.
Yeah.
But we cannot also erase the issue of deceit.
Of course.
You were deceived or
you were deceived. You were deceived
Yeah,
you were deceived. Who were you deceived by?
By your wife.
You weren't deceived by the
By your
kid.
wife, by your wife.
And here's the thing: you weren't deceived
But
by
then
the
you get a
kid.
divorce. But does that duty still arise for you to support?
It does, because here's the thing. So
it cannot.
look.
But
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
don't play devil's advocate.
But listen, check this out, right?
I want you to talk about. Let's talk about facts supported.
No. Here's the facts.
Yeah.
Here's the facts.
Let's just
The
talk about
fact.
facts.
The fact is this. The fact is this. The fact is that the interests of the child are paramount in terms of South African law. The fact is, about this is not your child. They said it's yours. You've been supporting this kid though, and then you find out that this is not your kid, right? Now, let me introduce two new facts, right? That we spoke about. One fact is this: is that the child's mother. Sorry, guys. The child's mother is an indigent.
Yeah.
The child's parents, the grandparents are indigents as well. So, and then when you are a wealthy man, or you supporting this kid is not going to have any material effect on your financial status, right? So now, but listen, let me finish. Let me finish.
Finish.
But then now, if you stop supporting this kid, their entire life, that whips where Elon Musk went, where you took that kid and whips, and all these things, that whole life falls away. You're leaving another child destined to poverty economically, and then when you can afford to take it, the financial impact this is going to have on you is immaterial, right? Now we're going back to what the interest of the child.
Yes.
Now, when you weigh the interest of this child against not getting that money, against your interest of keeping this money, their interests are paramount. Because not only are they not paramount in terms of the law, they're also paramount in that them not receiving this money anymore is going to have a larger impact on their life than your life.
No.
And this is where
Absolutely not.
This is where we weigh these interests.
Yeah.
And that's my chat.
Here's my chat, and
Yeah.
I please ask you to allow me and afford me the
Yeah.
opportunity to
Yes.
tell you that it is a biological duty. Number one, according to Children's Act, even I saw you know what, ne? We'll talk about
What? You'll beep it out.
But- Dude, biological. You
Yeah.
have to be a biological parent, right? Number one. Number two, there has to be a duty. For instance, if you're a grandparent,
Yeah.
for instance, if you are a trustee,
100.
Acting according to the mandate or the trust deed, which the beneficiary is that very child, right? That is your duty. You're the trustee acting for the best interest of the beneficiaries, right? So, in essence, what I'm trying to point you to is the biological parent part. You are not the biological parent, dog.
But so is the stepfather, who's supposed to be supporting.
You're not a biological parent, so that duty cannot exist. What you're talking about,
A stepfather is not a
let me tell you
biological
about,
parent.
When you say stepfather and all that, that talks about marriage. So, for instance, you meet a female that has a child,
Yeah.
and then you get married to them,
Yeah.
and you know that child is not yours because
Yeah.
you met that lady with that child.
Yeah.
That's a different
Yeah.
situation, as opposed to you saying your woman or your wife deceives you and says that this child is yours. You support this child, right, under this false premise that it's yours, with the intention that I'm supporting you because you are my child. I'm looking at you as mine. But then at the end of the day, you're not mine, and then I realize that you're not mine, and then I'm like, okay, fine, I am no longer going to continue to support.
Okay.
Are you saying that Am I bound to support a child that is not mine?
Are you legally obligated to believe a woman if she says this is your child? Are you legally, or do you have other avenues to find out whether? But anyway, guys, you know what?
No, another thing. That's unraveling a whole can of worms, because now, if I decide to date a female with a child or children, right? And in the duration of our relationship, I do things which can be interpreted as support.
So here's the thing.
No.
Interpretation.
Let me finish the facts. Let me know the facts.
Finish.
So I do things that can be interpreted as support or maintenance of that child during the duration of our relationship. And then once the relationship comes to an end, right? are you saying to me that those children have recourse from me?
Yeah. No.
As a result
that's
of,
not what I'm saying. So
what are you saying?
Remember, I first
Because
started
that's
off.
the kind of words that are right?
That's why I was very specific with the amount of years. I said 6, 7, 8, 9. You find out.
Could even be.
Wait. You find out that this kid is not yours. And then remember, there's a difference between when you meet a woman. You're not marrying the woman. Like you said, you're not marrying the woman. You are dating the woman, right? Wait, listen. You're dating the woman, and here's the thing, you assist. You assisting. You are assisting. Because here's the thing. Supporting is intention. Supporting is intentional.
You are supporting the living expenses.
No. Supporting is intentional. So if you now take this child, right? If you now take this child that was born before you were in the picture, you take this child and you make him or her get used to a lifestyle, right, for a number of years that they didn't ask you to, and then now they become part and parcel of that class and that lifestyle, and you can carry on supporting that, then you are guilty for doing that.
Why am I
You
guilty?
are absolutely guilty
How
because
you
you took this
how you
kid.
guilty of
You took
supporting
this
your
kid.
own child? How you guilty of I understand the whole notion that you're saying, once you make a person or a child
You get that, and that's why it also works in marriage as well. That's why you have to.
acclimated to a certain living lifestyle, right?
Yes.
As by virtue of your financial support,
Yes.
you can't all of a sudden take that away, right? But at the end of the day,
At the end of the day,
biological
at the end
is
of the
the
day,
key word.
we're not gonna agree.
You just have to be a biological parent. I am really gonna judge your hands.
At the end of the day, guys.
Guys, if
wait,
Mutwasa is born,
listen.
then
Let's let it go. We're not gonna finish.
Come to me personally. If Mutwasa shines ball, and then they say,
And if you're a woman, come to me. Come to me. My brother. Guys,
this episode was sponsored by
not sponsored, brought to you.
but sponsored, brought to you
The same day.
It's
Brought to you by Nkwana and Matala
Nkwana
Incorporated, guys.
Incorporated, and guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to
Ding, 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 ding,
the bell for
ding, the bell,
notifications,
the
don't forget
bell.
to
Share.
this content. Don't forget to comment.
Comment.
Give us.
Tell us what.
Give us a little bit of your thoughts.
Yeah, and
in
what you
terms
want
of-
us to talk about and
What
things
you want
like
to talk
that.
about, more importantly, what you think regarding this subject matter, regarding the maintenance of which he has put forth, and what I rebutted it with. But nonetheless, we bring you guys nothing but the best of legal content.
Yeah. Once again, thanks to the Flower Doctor for this.
Flower
And
Doctor,
guys, brought to you by Nkwana and Matala Incorporated. You want to contact us? Engage at nmincattorneys.co.za. It's going to be here again. It's going to be here
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's going to be here somewhere. But my brother, once again, let's not forget this.
Yeah, as always.
Cheers, guys.